Welcome back to the Tree Surgery podcast. So this week we've got another solo episode. I was going to do one of the interviews that we've been recording, but after putting a social media post out on ArbTalk and some of the other forums last night and getting a huge reaction, I thought it'd be really poignant to be able to talk around how we can charge more in this industry. As you all probably agree with me, we have got ourselves in a bit of a rut in this industry where there's a lot of undercutting, a lot of underpricing, and that's not just the small businesses, that's also the lot of large businesses out there and a lot of large businesses who are winning contracts. And it's getting us into a state now in this industry where we're having a lot less people coming into the industry. I know the ARB Association, when I spoke to John Parker recently, said they're going into schools and trying to get more kids to come in up through into the industry. But quite frankly, we're not paying our guys well enough and we're not paying people well enough. A lot of people are going to go, well, do I want to go and be a tree surgeon, be out in the cold, get soaking wet, be in harsh environments and conditions in a dangerous job? Or do I want to go and work in McDonald's, let's say, for potentially more money? And yes, maybe not the same kind of, you won't get the same feel from it and the same endorphin rush from climbing around and swinging around in a tree, but you'd be safe and you get paid and you get looked after by a business. Two completely different jobs, but actually McDonald's is definitely paying a lot more than some people for trainees and for people that are experienced. And lots of other industries out there. In the last 2 years, we've seen inflation rise. And actually, with inflation, there's been a lot more money going into other industries. And I've certainly seen it with friends and other business owners who are running construction firms. Like construction has gone up through the roof in the last few years. You know, scaffolders are on 50, 60, 70, 80,000 pounds. Scaffolding, different industry again, but very similar. Dangerous job, working at high, labour intensive, and it's just gone through the roof. And we're not going to be able to plug this gap without, as tree surgery businesses and arborists, without being able to pay ourselves and pay our teams more money. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is by charging more. So today's episode is going to be all around 7 tips I've got on how you can charge more in your business, so then you can then be able to earn more, pay your staff more, reinvest in kit. One of the biggest things I've noticed, and especially since starting the mastermind and the business academy, is that there's a lot of small business owners who say, but I've got low overheads and I don't need to charge that much. But yet they're still driving around a 10-year-old van and chipper, not being able to invest any money into their own development or into pensions or property or any other assets that are going to help them with some sort of retirement fund. So it might be in the mindset that, oh, our overheads are low and we can charge less. But if you're only making 40 grand a year and you're running a business, you can actually go and work for someone for 50 grand a year, helping them run their business without the stress, without having to work in the evenings, quoting evenings, weekends. You know, like most business owners I've come across, they want more time and more profit, but they go and start their own business and they get less because of the mindset that we've got around having to charge less, the worry about not having work, and all of that kind of stuff, which I'm sure a lot of you are probably experiencing. And on the flip side, the larger businesses, especially the big ones that sub all out the work, having this race to the bottom where a lot of the tenders are won by price and they're having to go cheaper. And then what they do is they sub the work out. And again, the smaller businesses that are hungry for work, they then go and accept those rates. I mean, this year we had the quietest year. I've been running my tree surgery business for 16 years, and we had the quietest year we've had in years. Like the COVID boom is over. Everyone's spent their money. Everyone's going back on holidays. The staycation boom's over. So the market this year was a lot quieter. We had the recession, we had an election to deal with, and a lot of people held on to their money. And so when I was looking for work this year, a bit of our work dried up. I was offered 195 a man a day, and I was offered 250 a man a day, which it's impossible to make money. Even if you're a small business, the margins are so tight to be able to go and work for that kind of money. Like, where's the money to be able to reinvest in kit, to be able to reinvest in training? You know, one of the biggest things I see in this industry is people see their staff as the biggest cost, but they're not. They're an investment, and they see that their staff as the biggest stress. But actually, your team, not workers, not operatives, not staff, your team. And the only way that you can invest in your biggest asset is by charging more money to be able to invest in them for time, for training, for their wages, for their future, for their pensions. So the whole ethos in this industry where we're constantly just fighting each other to price down, it's just not working. And last year we were at 6 teams and we put our prices up the back end of last year to the highest we've ever been since I've been trading in 16 years. We charge 400 a man a day, and some of our work tailed off. We've now dropped down to 4 teams and we're doing the same numbers with 4 teams than when we had 6 teams, because we've put our prices up. We're doing less work. I've put my ego to one side, because some people, it's the ego thing: how much kit you got, how many staff you got, how big's your business. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the age old saying is, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. It doesn't matter whether you're a 10 million pound business or whether you're a 300 grand business. What is the profit that you're making, the money that you can pay yourself, you can invest in your future, and you can invest in your team's future, and you can invest back into your company. That is the most important thing. So let's get into it. So I've got 7 tips on how to ensure that you can charge more so you can create a sustainable business that isn't just a pop-up one that lasts a few years. The first one is just start measuring. It's a really simple way to be able to understand what you're winning, and that's measure your quote success conversion rate. So it's very simple. If you quote 10 jobs and you win 8, you've got an 80%. If you win 2, you've got a 20%. Currently, we're sat at about 38%. But if you do this exercise, and if you're using a CRM or you're just using a back of a fag packet to run your company, like, you should have some sort of sight about the amount of quotes that you sent in the last 30 days, and you'll have an understanding of what ones were accepted and what ones weren't. And it's a very simple maths. You can do it on a spreadsheet or a back of a fag packet or on a calculator on your phone, but you'll be able to understand what your conversion is. So if you're anything above 75%, the chances are that you will be able to have the ability to put your prices up. And if you put your prices up, I wouldn't always say, I'm saying 400 a day. If you're currently sitting listening to this and you think, well, I'm at 250, well, maybe just go to 300. I'm not telling everyone to just go tomorrow to go up to 400 pound a day, because then you would lose work. And that's the last thing we want. But if you then go from 250 to 300 and next month measure the same metric and just say, what is it? If you're at 80% and you're still at 8%, then cool. Well, everyone's still accepting your work. So maybe give it a few more months and you can put your prices up again and keep checking that conversion rate. And that will give you an understanding, a really simple number. It's not going to take you hours of your day. It will give you a really simple number to be able to go back and track and see whether your price rises are making a difference in what your clients are accepting. You've got to remember, it's not our job to have an opinion about whether your customer can afford it or not. Customers will always plead poverty. I went out, my commercial manager was on holiday last week. I went out and priced a few jobs. A few of them are domestic. 2 out of the 3 domestic couples were elderly, and they both lived in very nice houses, but both of them told me that they didn't have any money, that they were poor. And of course they're going to say that because they want you to give them the best price. So don't believe everything that it's not your job to have an opinion about whether they can afford it or not. So the next tip is just do more marketing. Fill the funnel up more. If your conversion rate's dropping and you're putting your prices up, rather than putting your prices back down, another way is to do more marketing. The more that you do, the more marketing, the more leads you've got, the less that you need to win. And that's why we're quite comfortable with winning 38% of our quotes. We don't need to be higher than that. We do a lot of marketing, and that is how we then get more quotes. And if you don't have time for marketing, then just get an agency to do it. Find a really good agency, ideally someone that understands the tree surgery industry, and get them to do your marketing. And then you measure them on the amount of leads you get, the amount of quality leads you get, and then you can either, if you use an agency for 3 months and they don't get enough leads, drop them. If they do, then you go and use them some more. But that is one of the sure ways of being able to put your prices up, is just by filling your funnel up more and getting more leads in, so your quote conversion can drop even more and you can put your prices higher. Tip number 3 is just knowing your numbers, knowing exactly what it costs you to run your team each day. At the beginning of this year, our business had bulked out. We'd got really chubby. The business had got bigger over the last few years of me not being in it and me running the Tree Surgery Mastermind and Business Academy. And it was costing us about £890 a day to run our run a team, 3-man team. So I knew that any work that was offered at anything less than £1,000 a day, we weren't going to make any money on it. It's one of the reasons why we went up to £1,200 a day for a 3-man team, because we wanted to make a good margin. But over the last 9 months, we have cut out a lot of the fat. We've managed to restructure the business, and now we're down to about 650 a team. So, and we're still charging 1,200. But what that means is we can make a good amount of profit. It means that in the next 6 months, I can do a staff review with pay review with all my staff and team and be able to pay them more. We can look at what kit we're going to reinvest and what training we're going to put the guys through. So it might seem like it's a huge profit margin, but you've got to remember a lot of that profit margin is going to be reinvested into the team. Yes, I'll take some wage for myself and a dividend, but a lot of it gets reinvested back into the company. But knowing your numbers and what it costs you to run a business will then give you an idea of what you need to be charging, and then taking into consideration the percentage, not of just profit that you want to pay yourself, but what percentage are you going to need to reinvest into your business to make sure that you've got a sustainable business. I've seen a lot of businesses go under in the last year that started through COVID, and they just made enough to be able to earn their money. They didn't keep up a good bankroll to be able to stay safe when you get quieter times, and they've not been able to reinvest in marketing, sales, staff, kit. So a lot of small businesses have gone under in the last year because it has been a quieter time. But knowing your numbers will give you an understanding of then what you need to do to be able to make more money, charge more money, and again, not forgetting the percentage that you need to reinvest back into your business. Tip number 4 is grade your clients. So grade your clients A, B, C, D. An A grade client is a high profit, low maintenance client. Like, we want millions of those. Like, they're the ones, an A grade client. A B grade client is medium profit, high maintenance. So yeah, maybe a few of those. C grade client is low profit and low maintenance. Yep, okay, they're easy to work for, but they're not making a lot of money out of them. And a D grade is very low profit and high maintenance. They're usually the ones that want the world from you, either in health and safety, jumping through hoops, but they want to pay you 195 a day, or they're the old lady who pleads poverty, who then wants you to do one small prune job and for a couple £100, and before you know it, you've done her whole garden because you feel sorry for her, and she just keeps bringing you nice biscuits and nice tea through the day. They're that low profit, high maintenance. So with that, so just let's go over that again. A, great clients, high profit, low maintenance. B, greed, medium profit, high maintenance. C, low profit, low maintenance. D, very low profit, high maintenance. What you want to do is work out who your D grade clients are. Stop working for them, or put your prices up. Just put your prices up. If they don't want you, if they're high maintenance, they'll pay for your time. If not, don't worry about that. And then work out who your A grade clients are, because it's all there for you already. You'll know who your A grade clients. I guarantee, as I'm saying this now, you'll be thinking in your head, yeah, they're an A grade, they're a D grade, they're an A grade. Like, work out who the A grades are, work out how you found them or how they found you, work out who they know, whether they know anyone else that are similar to them, profile them, and then go and find more A grades. Because then you know that they're going to be happy to pay for your skill, for the professional service that you're delivering. That's where you want to focus your time. And if you're going to get an agency or do some marketing, this is a great exercise to be able to find out how you can then find out where these guys hang out, whether it be on social media, Google pay-per-click, whether it be a business networking group, or whatever other form of marketing and sales you can think of. So grade your clients and look for the A grade. Number 5 is just deliver a great service. The better service that you can deliver, position yourself as an expert in your area, in tree work, as an arborist. Deliver a great service, high quality work, have a clear brand, and then you'll get repeat custom who want to pay you because they're buying into you. And again, it's not your job to decide whether they can afford that or not. You build your brand, and deliver an exceptional service, and you will be able to charge yourself out at more, and people will accept that. There's a big mindset that right now there's a cost of living crisis and no one has any money. Yes, that there is a part of society that doesn't have a lot of money, but there is a huge part of society that does have the money, but they'll always plead poverty. And number 6, improve your sales process. How many times are you communicating with your clients through the quote process? Is it just a case they phone up, you take the details, you go on quote, you send the quote, and that's it? Well, then that is one touch point. Like most people who buy will need 5 to 7 touch points. And what that means is they'll need to be communicated on a regular basis. Most people that join the Mastermind, the Tree Surgery Business Academy, they've stalked me for usually about 6 months. It's like, I guarantee there's something on your phone right now that you've got a site open and you've got something in an e-commerce basket where you're debating buying it because you're still working out whether you want that, whether you trust the service, whether it's got the right quality, you're reading the reviews, you're working it all out. So to make it easier for your clients, you want to be giving them that information up front. So having a really clear sales process where when they phone up, you then follow them up with an email to confirm the place or the quote. Then you can follow up with why buy from you. Like, what you can send them your accreditations, testimonials, reviews, point them towards your website where all this information is. Then you could communicate with them a half an hour before you go out and quote, and then you can follow up the quote afterwards. I guarantee if you can spend some time out of your business working out on your sales process, the touch points between from the moment they come into your business as a lead to then being able to then buy from you, if you put a few more touch points in there, I can guarantee your conversion rate will go up. So what gets measured gets managed. I wouldn't put your prices up and then change your sales process at the same time. One of the things you want to be doing is seeing how your conversion rate goes up. So working on your sales process and putting your rates up, I would do that on different months. So then you can see what works and what doesn't, and what improves your conversion rate and what doesn't. Remember, numbers are key to business. And the last one is just raise your money mindset. There is so much in the media right now about cost of living crisis, about no one's got any money, everyone's skint, no one can afford anything. Like, start trying to fish in the ponds where people can afford it and will afford it. And not everyone is skint. There is plenty of money around, especially there's still money around from COVID. There's still money everywhere. There's a lot of people earning good money in this country. Don't believe everything in the media, because if you get into that money mindset that no one can afford it, that no one's going to accept that quote, then you're always going to be putting your quotes in lower, earning less, and then not fulfilling your business goals and being able to run a sustainable business that lasts the test of time, and that you can invest in people, in your team, in kit, and run a sustainable business. Now, I know there's lots of other ways in this industry that we can solve this, like the ARB Association are trying to do a great job of it. They need to get themselves out more PR and advertising to Joe public. Yes, it does need to be regulated. The government do need to get some sort of corgi register scheme. All these things need to happen, but they've been talked about for years. All these things have been around. And as a collective group of tree surgeons, tree surgery business owners, this is where we need to make a stand and start putting our prices up and start being able to do this as a collective thing where we're all putting our prices up. Because the problem is the fear of not having work, the fear of people can't affording it, mean people are still putting their prices down and not making money. And the biggest thing is there's so many accidental business owners in this industry where they're not getting paid enough by their boss, so they go and decide to start their own business, and then that's where a lot of the one-man bands come from. And they might be happy earning 30, 40,000 a year, but to me, that doesn't make any sense to be having all the stress of running a business and earning that much money when you could just go and work for someone for that much. As a collective, we need to be putting our prices up, and it's the only way that we're going to be able to tackle some of the challenges in this industry. I hope this episode's helped. If you've got any comments or feedback, please drop me a message. If you're listening to this and thinking, well, I'm not an ARB business owner, well, we are going to have lots more interviews coming up that aren't necessarily all going to be around business. This podcast is for tree surgeons. A lot of what I talk about will be about business, because I'm obviously a big tree surgery business owner, but we have got loads and loads of interviews lined up, which it won't all be about business. So I always like to hear your feedback. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Take care all, and have a great day.